Hello and welcome to the third part of WhyItWorks. Today we're gonna make sense of the many outside chords that we have in the song Easy by Mac Ayres. We have several progressions to go through and we're starting with the intro and verse. Alright, we're playing in the key of F major for this one, and if you noticed, the intro and verse shares a very similar chord progression. Quite a long progression in fact, so I'm going to divide it in two parts. We're starting on a large voicing of F major 7. Then from this chord, we're going to go down and play E flat major 7 over F. So we have F on the bass. Then D minor 7, followed by D7, going to the 2 chord on G minor 9, C7, and back on F major 7. So that's the first part we're going to break down. So from what you can see on the screen already, we have 2 chords outside of the F major scale. The E flat major 7 over F and the D7. For the E flat major 7 over F, even though the bass is still the same, staying on F for the first 2 chords, F major 7, and then E flat major 7 over F. We're going to ignore the bass and simply focus on the right hand, because all the magic happens on the right hand. So to keep things simple, simply ignore the F on the bass for now and see it as a regular E flat major 7. And again here, when you see that you have an outside chord, the very first thing that you have to know is where the chord is leading to. And in that case, we're landing on a D minor 7 chord. So that D minor 7 is the goal. It's the landing point that will make the E flat major 7 work. And how that E flat major 7 came to be is, from my point of view, the combo of 2 principles. We have the secondary dominant on one side and the tritone substitution on the other. For the secondary dominant principle is pretty simple. It's all about the 5 chord resolving to the 1 chord, a 5-1 movement. The 1 chord in a scale is called the tonic. So if we're playing in the key of F, the 1 chord in the scale is F. So F is the tonic in the F major scale. If we were to play in the key of C, the first note is C, so C is the tonic. Last example, in the key of A flat. A flat is the tonic. So the 1 chord equals the tonic. Then, the 5 chord in a scale also have a name, and it's called the dominant. In the scale of F major, the 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is C. So the chord C, more precisely the chord C dominant 7, hence the name dominant is the dominant of F. So we have the dominant, going to the tonic. The 5 going to the 1. Now, with the secondary dominant, basically the concept allows us to change the roles a bit and think of a temporary dominant and a temporary tonic. Let me explain. As I said earlier, D minor 7 is our landing point. So we're going to temporarily think of D as the tonic. Now, what is the dominant of D, the 5, in the scale of D, and in that case, the D minor scale? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5 is A. So A, dominant 7, will be our temporary dominant, and D minor 7, the temporary tonic. So we have now in the progression F major 7, A7, and D minor 7. So to get to that D minor 7 chord, we thought of D as the tonic and then added the dominant in between. It works, but we're not there yet. The second concept that we're going to overlay on the secondary dominant is the tritone substitution. With that concept, we can replace a chord by its tritone. Applying that principle on A, on the A7, A now becomes E flat, since E flat is 3 whole tones away from A. 1 whole tone, 2 whole tones, and now 3 whole tones. Voicing that E flat as a major 7, like they did in the song, we have this. And now we have the original progression in the song. F major 7, E flat major 7, playing with F on the bass, going to D minor 7. And that explained the E flat major 7, a merge of the secondary dominant and the tritone substitution. We can now move on to the next problematic chord, the D7. This one will be pretty quick. We already went through the concept that makes that D7 possible and coherent in F major. As always, ask yourself where that chord is leading to. We land on G minor 9 after that. So G minor is a landing point and our resolution. Now, from the perspective of G, D is actually the dominant. In the scale of G minor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, D is the 5th note in the scale. So in that case, D7 is our temporary dominant and G minor, our temporary tonic. So they used the secondary dominant concept again. The 5 going to the 1. We're now halfway done with the intro and verse. For the second part of the chord progression, we have that small chord progression composed by C11, D flat major 7, and E flat add 9. So, in that 3 chord movement, only the C11 is in the key of F major. D flat and E flat are both out. Those 2 chords can be explained by the borrowed chord concept. But not only that, you'll see that other elements helped to make that chord progression work. Quick reminder for those of you who didn't watch the first 2 episodes of the series, the borrowed chord concept is simply borrowing chords or chord progression from another key. So the D flat major 7 and the E flat 9 were borrowed from another key, and that key is A flat major. So with C11, we're playing in F, thinking in the F major scale, and then as soon as we play D flat major 7, we're now thinking in the key of A flat. D flat being the 4 chord in that scale, and then going up a whole step on E flat at 9, we're still on A flat playing the 5 chord. And finally, after that, we're landing back on F major 7, replaying the progression from the top. Now, the thing that makes this movement so great is the fact that the voice leading keeps everything grounded and the harmonical movement is doing all the magic. So, for the voice leading, the tap note for all the 3 chords is F. For C11, we have F on top. For D flat major 7, we also have F on top. And the same goes for E flat 9. So melodically speaking, we're not going anywhere. That constant F note is keeping everything under the same roof. But we still have that sense of magic. That colorful movement that we hear is the harmony evolving smoothly from C, passing in the A flat major scale, and resolving on F major 7. The D flat major 7 was well chosen because it's only a half step away from C, and it makes the transition from the F major scale to the A flat major scale less difficult to hear. So now we're on that D flat major 7. And we have the proper setup to play in A flat major. So now we're going to go up from that D flat major 7, a whole step up, landing on E flat 9, E flat at 9, sorry. Still having that same top note, connecting everything. And now we only have to play a whole step up again to land back on the first chord of the progression and end the loop. In conclusion, melodically speaking, we're not going anywhere. We're staying on that F. But harmonically speaking, we're moving forward to F. So from C, up on D flat, up again on E flat, and landing on F. Coming up next, we have the section of the pre-chorus. Goes like this. For the chords of the pre-chorus, we're starting with D flat major 7, going up on E flat major 7, and landing on F major 7. Then we're going to replay D flat major 7, and then play 3 more chords. First A flat 11, followed by B flat 11, and finally C 11. So in all that, only 2 chords are in the key of F. The F major 7, obviously, and the C 11. We can already make sense of the D flat and the E flat. Just like the short beat at the end of the intro and verse, those chords were taken from the A flat major scale. Even though that you can see we have an E flat chord with the major 7, and D, so the major 7 of E flat, is not in the key of A flat, that E flat major 7 is simply made possible by the fact that we're going to go up a whole step after that and play F major 7. So we're not strictly in the A flat major scale with that E flat major 7 chord, but it don't have that much impact on the harmony. Now, the chords we didn't deal with yet is the A flat 11 and the B flat 11. The explanation is pretty simple for this one. We have this melody line that Mac Ayres sings in the song. So the A flat, going up on the B flat, and landing on C. And it's the melody line that will actually dictate the harmony here. As you can see, for the last note, the C on top, the C on top of the chord is played with C11. And that chord is in the key of F. So that's the chord that will mark the resolution. The tension is built in the A flat 11 and the B flat 11. And basically here we're going to replicate the voicing of the C11 over the other two chords. So in C11. On my left I'm playing C and B flat. That's the root and the 7th. And on my right I'm playing D, F and C. That's the 9th, the 11th, and the root again. Root, 7th, 9th, 11th, and root. Now based on the melody line, we're going to create the same chords for A flat and B flat. So the top note here is A flat. So we're going to have on the left the root and the 7th, that's A flat and G flat. And on the right we have the 9th and the 11th, B flat and D flat. And on top, the root again, so that's A flat 11. Same voicing as the C11. Doing the same for B flat, that's the top note. On the left, root and 7th, B flat and A flat. On the right, play the 9th, the 11th, and the root again, so the top note. And you have B flat 11. So here, it's the fact that we used the same voicing that makes the whole thing work. We moved around building the tension with the A flat and the B flat, but all that tension is resolved with C. So that was the pre-chorus. We can now move on to the last section for this video, the chorus. So we do have a lot of chords in that section, but I'm only going to focus on the chords outside of the key, and also the chords surrounding them. The first outside chord we have here is the A minor 11. And that chord makes sense with the chords following it. So we have A minor 11, going up on B flat major 7, D minor 11, and finally landing on G minor 9. As you can see, 3 out of 4 chords here are in the key of F. The B flat major 7 is in the key of F, D minor 11 is in the key, and G minor 9 as well. And even in the A minor 11, if you look at it closely, the only questionable note is the B. So the ninth of A, being in the voicing. The rest of the notes, so A and G and D, are in the key of F. So in my opinion, the harmony is not the important thing to look at here. The ninth was added into the voicing, but it just adds some color to the chord and make it more interesting, but don't impact the harmony as much. The voice leading, on the other hand, is: we start with D being the top note of A minor 11, going up on B flat major 7, the top note is F, followed by D minor 11, the top note is G, finally landing on G minor 9, and the top note is A. So we end up with this pretty nice D, F, G, A melody line. The next outside chord is a D7 played in this progression, starting on A minor 7, D minor, D minor 7, followed by D7, landing back on G minor 9. So, like we've seen earlier in the video, the D7 is used as a secondary dominant to get to G minor 9. So in the key of G, D is the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So D7, the temporary dominant, and G minor 9, the temporary tonic. And now, coming at the end of the chorus, we have a B flat minor 9 chord. It's played alone, so I'm only going to display it using the keyboard view. So we have a 4 chord played as a minor. So B flat is the 4 chord in the key of F. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have B flat. But in a major scale, the 4 chord is major. So we should play B flat major. But we have B flat minor 9. The reason for that is simple. You will often see in R&B, soul, and jazz that the 4 chord is played as a minor. It's a really nice way to add color, and from that chord we can easily resolve back to the 1 chord. So, we went through every single outside chords in the song. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, I hope you learned something. See you in the next one.